Hello and welcome to Game Brigade. My name is Bryan. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be taking a look at trekking through history. I'm going to give you my in-depth review of this game to see if it's something you might consider picking up, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so before we dive into this, I got some important killer news for you guys. First off, let's talk about Into the AM. They are our channel sponsor for this month. I want to thank them so much for reaching out to me and saying that we're going to support you. But right now, they actually have their Black Friday sale going on, which is 30 to 80% off their entire selections. And if you use my code BOARDGAME, that's an additional 10% off the sales already. So that's potentially 90% off. I went on the website and they have shirts up to $5. So if you're looking for something cool to wear, something sweet like this lion print that I've got on, check out Into the AM. Everything you do directly supports me here at the Game Brigade Studios. So thank you for that. So without further ado, let's hit Trekking Through History. Okay, so Trekking Through History by Underdog Games. This was sent to me for review, so I appreciate them for doing that. And I didn't really have expectations coming into this. I've not played any of the trekking series, so I went into this fully blind, wanting to experience the game and seeing what it could offer. So what is Trekking Through History? Well, it is a game where you are going to be going back through time, experiencing different types of events that are historically significant, progressing through time positively, so you're going up through the ages until you can no longer progress based on the cards we have here, and then you got to start a new run, but you're all doing that within the time constraints of a 12-hour day. Now you're going to do those in 3 different days, and we're going to talk about the mechanics here more in depth as we go through. So first off, the thing I want to talk about are the passports. That's at least what I call them. They're kind of these passports. At the beginning of the game, players are going to be given these. You're going to get 4 of them, and you are going to basically be giving these are your scoring objectives that you want to do for each round. So, for example, if I took this one, we placed it in front of me. Now I have basically the objectives that I want to go for when I'm selecting cards. The cards all have different types of resources and rewards that they'll provide to you that you'll fill up on your passport. Alternatively, they also have a time clock on it, which will increase your time through the day. Once you've reached 12, so once you've gone around the clock 1 full time, you are done with that current day, and you have to wait for all other players. There's another important factor here, though. The year you grab at the first year is the latest or the oldest in history you can go. So if I grab 22.1 BCE, I cannot grab 37,000 BCE because this is older in history than this one. So I can only progress further. But from there, we would grab the resources associated with the card, plus whatever bonus is associated below that card, and then everything would slide down and a new card would be revealed, allowing for the next player to then continue. And by grabbing this, I would move up 2 hours, and so on. So this will continue where players are going to be collecting cards, filling resources on their boards, until everyone goes around the clock, and then we will then begin the next round, where you grab deck 2, shuffle it, draw it out the same way, and do the same thing. The scoring, it will be associated through different ways. Through the passport, you score points, and then through the trek length, how long you have on a current trek that is unbroken will score you points. So, for example, if I have 4 treks where I'm only able to go 4 runs, that would score me 4 points. And what I mean by that, only scoring 4 runs, means let's say the final 2 cards I play, let's say I just grab these 4 cards because they're in order. In this example, let's say, for example, there was nothing older or newer than 1891. That is the most current or advanced age available. I wouldn't be able to grab another card unless I want to grab a Visit Your Ancestors card. Visit Your Ancestors card is tricky because while it does continue your trek, it does cost 3 time and it only generates you a wild resource. So that is kind of difficult. But the hope is that other players, when they take cards, they may reveal a card that you can continue your run with. So that's the kind of the play with the Ancestors cards. So if I was not able to continue this trek, I would close it and turn it upside down. And for continuity's sake, this is actually, oh, actually this works perfectly. This might be what it would look like. So if I had this set up, there are no cards currently on the board that are more current than 1891. So I would have to close this and start a new age, looking what's available, selecting a time. Usually people grab the most oldest time, but sometimes it's not always strategically beneficial to grab the oldest time based on the amount of time that you might click or the rewards they're giving you based on the passport you're trying to fill. So that's it. And then the games will continue. Players will move through until all 3 decks have been played, all players have gone around, and you just go from there. So that's it. We're going to go more into detail about some of the things I liked about this game, some things I didn't like about this game, if there are any, and then give you my final impressions as we wrap it up. So overall, trekking through history was very positively received for me and my player group, especially me and my wife. We played this a few times. We very much enjoyed it. And what I liked about it was how easy it was to learn, how easy it was to pick up and grasp the concept that it's trying to portray. And then the ease of replayability, where we're able to keep going and playing another game because it is quick, it is peppy, and it's got a nice feeling to it where you complete the game and you want to try it again to see if you can best your points, or maybe you want to try a different strategy, try some different types of these passports. There's a whole stack of passports. I think there's like close to 30 of them, which gives you a lot of variety. I will say, though, in terms of the weight and compatibility of this for my normal heavy games, this is very much on the lighter side. So in terms of games, I would kind of associate this to more on like the Point Salad or Tiny Town side, where games are quickly played, but they're more of a puzzle that you're trying to solve as you're gaming through this system. There are depths to this, though, in strategy, and I have seen that where, like I mentioned in the tutorial part, where we talk about grabbing a card. And sometimes you need to look and see, okay, well, what's most important to me? If I had this specific passport, the red icons are way more prioritized for me than any others. Alternatively, though, the crystals, which we didn't really talk about in the tutorial, are also super important in figuring out the best ways to grab these. These crystals are either in the 5th column here as a reward, or sometimes the cards will have rewards for them. I don't have one here. Let me see if I can find one for you guys real quick. Here's an example. This card here, going to Machu Picchu, has a crystal as a reward. So trying to find the different types of rewards that might benefit you for the specific game. Because these crystals, by the way, I told you how important they are, but I didn't tell you what they do. By spending a crystal, you reduce the time by 1 hour on the clock. So if I were to grab this rocket train here, I could spend a crystal. Now it only costs me 1 hour, which is actually, this is an incredible card if that were the case. Grabbing a red, grabbing a yellow, and then I grab a crystal for the reward, which then replaces the crystal that I spent, and I only move up the clock 1 hour. That is actually a very, very good card because it's very efficient in terms of the rewards it's giving you. 2 rewards plus a crystal for only 1 hour. Comparatively, if you look at this 37,000 BCE, you're getting 2 greens, which in this case is very invaluable for me, but it's costing me 3 hours. Alternatively, you'll see that there are icons on these passports. If you fill in those icons, you will receive those benefits or points. So if I fill in these 2 greens, so if I did take that 37,000 BCE and fill those 2 greens in immediately, I would actually collect another crystal to go into my vial here. If I filled in any of these other icons, I get points for them. And you'll notice that there is a line going through, which means I must have to have, let's talk about this top one, it's easier to kind of demonstrate. I have to have each of these filled all the way across to score those points. And you must fill those items in top down. So I can't just fill in, you know, like something like this to get the rewards. You have to fill in top down. And that's what part of the strategy of this game is. So what did I like about the game? I love that it's really quick. I love that it's easy to play. I love the strategy involved with it and the concepts behind the game. Plus, you're going back in time and seeing a lot of true historical events. And some people might say, oh, that's not that historical, but I think they are kind of cool. Liking this Live Aid one is an example. I think that was a pretty cool historical event. So yeah, it might not be, Pearl Harbor or something that's, historically significant, but it still has an impact on history, especially for humans. So I really, really like that. Overall, did I find anything I disliked through the gameplay or the mechanics? Not really. It's a very clean, very well-refined game. I love the deluxe version that the game came in. The playmat fits inside the box. Everything is nice and clean and tidy. I didn't really find anything overall that I would say is something I would harp on. So that's a positive. The only thing I guess I could lean on is that it's a light game and might limit the type of gamers that would go for it. Alternatively, though, I think this has a wider audience that it could be associated to because of how easy it is to play, how easy it is to grasp, and how enjoyable it is. So overall, where do we rate this game here at Game Brigade Studios? I'm going to give this one a 4. It's a pretty enjoyable game, 4 out of 5. I was close to saying 3 out of 5, only because it's maybe too light for me in terms of the enjoyment. But I think We're Trekking Through History places itself in the sphere of a enjoyable, quick game. I think this is a pretty solid one that I would recommend playing, and I brought it out usually at the end of our game sessions when we've got an hour left in the night, and this one is a good little filler game for those opportunities. So I'm very, very excited to add this to my collection. Thank you, Underdog Studios, for sending this along. If you guys found this review helpful, please leave a comment down below. Remember to check out Into the AM. They got the Black Friday sale going on right now. You should probably find something cool there. If it's not Black Friday, check it out anyways, because that 10% coupon board game is always stacking site-wide. So with any further ado, we're going to wrap this up and get out of here. Oh, by the way, this is kind of deluxe cut, director's cut. If you made it to the end, I am thinking about going to the World Series of Board Gaming, and I have booked my tickets to Dice Tower West. So I'm definitely going to Dice Tower West. I'm kind of contemplating the World Series of Board Gaming. But the World Series of Board Gaming reached out to me and said, hey, Bryan, we would love to have you go. And in fact, we're going to give you a $40 off coupon that you can share with your viewers, that if they want to go as well, they can get $40 off their ticket. So if you use Game Brigade when you're going to World Series of Board Gaming, then you can get $40 off your ticket. That'll also show positively for me so that they can show that my audience is watching. So if you are thinking about going to that, let me know in the comment section down below. That way you can kind of figure out if there's any kind of meet and greet possibilities. I would love to know. Anyways, this is Bryan from Game Brigade. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.